What's going on, guys? I am SimpleSimon and today is my Q&A video. I've seen a lot of other people sort of do these kind of videos and it was just something I always kind of wanted to do. So I asked a bunch of my subscribers if they had any questions and I've got 40 questions to go through today. So let's do this. I didn't think a lot of people were going to participate, and a lot of people have obviously sent me multiple questions. I didn't get 40 people sending me stuff, but yeah, thank you to all those guys who participated. I really appreciate it. So, just so this video doesn't go for a lifetime, let's start. First question from Leroy K. Has 2020 made comic collecting more or less fun? That's an interesting question. 2020 has obviously been a weird year. I think for me, my comic collecting got a little bit out of control this year. So I don't know if it's made it more fun. How do I explain it? Like, I went from, I think I had 5 or 6 short boxes at the start of the year, and now I've got 13 short boxes, and I've also got at least 4 boxes worth of stuff just sitting in piles. So my habit went out of control due to COVID. So yeah, I don't know if it's been more fun, but it's definitely gotten more crazy. All right, next question. Favorite alcoholic drink? Now I know Lee is a bit of a cocktail superstar with making drinks. My favorite alcoholic drink, I'm gonna go with Cafe Patron. I'm sure Lee's been there plenty of nights where I've rocked up with a bottle of Cafe Patron and it's shots all around. So I love that stuff. It's coffee infused with tequila, for those who don't know. Next question is from Nicola, who is Lee's other half. If you're into Twitch, check out Nicola. She's known as Cherry Cola. Can't remember the numbers sequence, but Cherry Cola on Twitch. Her question is, will you ever switch the red and black to black and red? Now, before I answer this question, the same question was asked from the Grey Man, my buddy from the UK. He also said, will you ever dye your hair the other way around, switch the red and black sides? The answer to that is only if I have to. I used to change my hairstyle every now and then, and red and black was just one of the things I did. I haven't actually changed it for going on, it's nearly 18 years. So 17 years, I've not changed from the red and black. So it's been a long time. The only reason I would switch it is, obviously I've been bleaching this side of my hair for a long time. It's like completely not very healthy. It's very dead. So if it gets to a point where it's, you know, I got to stop doing it, maybe I'll switch sides. Thank you for your questions, Nicola and Grey Man. Next one, Firehawk, a new subscriber of mine. He wants to know, how do you organize your collection? Simple, I don't. If you looked at my stuff right now, you'll realize that I don't organize my collection at all. In fact, I tried to bring a photo up here, which would be a very sad photo of how my boxes and piles of comics look. At the moment, I don't have it sorted, but if I did go through all this, I'd say I'd probably eventually start to put stuff in a to-read pile, a unread stuff, cover buys, but everything that I read normally goes in alphabetic order and by publisher. Next, J2K, all the way from Scotland, I believe, Jay, right? So he wants to know my favorite sci-fi film. I would go with The Matrix. That counts, that's a sci-fi film, right? I'm gonna go with The Matrix because when that movie came out, it absolutely blew my mind, and I love the Matrix trilogy. Wasn't huge on the third one, but I love the first two. A lot of people don't like the second one. I'm like, come on guys, that's the first one on steroids. If you want just action, like, it doesn't get much better than The Matrix Reloaded, but yeah, The Matrix, I'd have to say, is my favorite sci-fi film of all time. Favorite computer game is his other question. Now, he said computer game, so I don't know if it's a Scottish thing to call video games computer games, but because you've said computer game, I'm gonna go with PC games, right? And I haven't played PC games since I was a teenager, I would say. Back in the day when I did play games on PC, I would say I loved the point and click games. I used to love Sam & Max, and I used to also love a game called Day of the Tentacle, which is a sequel to Maniac Mansion. In fact, I'll leave a link, boom, right there, to my top 5 video games video that I made a little while back, explaining all my top 5 favorite video games, plus honorable mentions. Anyway, thank you, Jay. Next one, Whack Comics. How did it feel to get shot with finger guns? Another link, please. Please check out Whack's finger guns video. It is so amazing. He collabed with a bunch of us in the community and it literally is an absolute laugh. And Whack knows damn well that the finger guns when I got shot made me feel angry. But if you want to see me angry, check out that video of Wax. Next one is from Captain Saro. If you could turn any comic into an anime/TV series, what would it be? That's a great question. I haven't really thought too long about this one, so I would say something I've read recently, and it's actually Captain Saro's favorite book series, is Something's Killing the Children. It just seems like it's perfect for a TV show, and that could be both. That could be a live action, which would be fantastic, and even an anime I think would work really well for Something's Killing the Children. I'm trying to think of something else. A Deadly Class anime would be cool. They've already made a live action Deadly Class. I've only watched a little bit of it and it was good, but that's another one of my favorite series. But I'll go with Something's Killing the Children on that one. Thank you, Captain Saro. Next one is from a boy, Super Rust 9000. What gave you the inspiration to start your YouTube channel? What a question. So I've always wanted to do YouTube for a long time, but I never knew what my channel would be about. Now here's the funny thing, right? I'm going to turn this on silent. I never knew what my channel was going to be about. And the first idea I ever came up with, and I thought would be funny, I was going to do a cooking show. I won't get into too much detail about how I used to live my life, but let's just say it was a cooking show for stoners. Let's just say that. That was an idea I had a long time ago and I never got around to doing it. And then I guess what really got me off my ass to start my YouTube channel was I was interested in this girl who had a YouTube channel. And at the time it was when I first started getting into comics and all this nerd stuff, like going to conventions and all that. So my first idea was, hey, why don't I make a channel about all this nerd stuff I've suddenly gotten into, comic books, collectibles, conventions, and it's kind of like nerd culture from a noob's perspective, and that's really the idea behind my channel. But what it really took for me to get off my ass and do it was a girl that I was into. Next one, Max Washington Songs. Thank you, Max, for a series of questions. He's got 8 for me, and he said I didn't have to answer them all, but mate, he does. He comments on all my videos and always gets very lengthy with them. He always has a lot to say, so I appreciate you, Max, and your support for my channel. So I will answer all 8 of your questions, but I'll try to power through it like a lightning round. Favorite foods? At the moment, I love ramen. I love pho. I call it pho because I'm a bogan, but pho, Vietnamese rice noodles. I wouldn't call them necessarily my favorite foods because I was never huge into buying Asian food growing up because I grew up in a Chinese restaurant. My parents owned a Chinese restaurant, and I never bought Asian food up until later on in my life. I love Mexican food. Mexican food is one of my absolute favorites. I could eat tacos all day, burritos, I love all that stuff. But I'm a big food lover. I'm a bit of a foodie, so I love all sorts of different cuisines, but I'm gonna go with Mexican. Favorite movies? I don't watch movies at all anymore, but I'm just gonna rattle off some of my favorite films of all time. And to be honest, if you asked me about these movies, I probably couldn't even tell you some of them. I don't remember a lot of stuff. My memory's absolute horrible. American History X. High Fidelity, surprisingly enough, is one of my favorite films. I used to love Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I used to love that film, but I could not tell you anything about it because I do not remember it all. I just remember it was one of my favorites. And I used to love this film called Interstate 60, which is a very lesser known film. Had an incredible cast. James Marsden, Christopher Lloyd, Michael J. Fox makes a cameo, Gary Oldman, incredible cast, and I used to love that movie, Interstate 60, if you haven't checked it out. My favorite singers. Alright, so I used to sing in a band, and obviously I grew up mostly with punk rock, but I don't really have a favorite punk rock singer. So I'm going to go with interesting ones. I love 80s rock. Sebastian Bach from Skid Row is one of my favorite singers from that sort of 80s sort of rock genre. I'm also going to go with Freddie Mercury because the first 2 bands I ever got into were Kiss and Queen, and I used to love Queen, and Freddie Mercury I'm going to go with. He's an absolute legend and quite the performer. Favorite trade paperback? I don't read a lot of trades. I mostly read single issues, so I obviously recently read the Something's Killing the Children trade, which is fantastic, but I'm going to go with one of the first trades I read, which was Batman Court of Owls. The first Court of Owls volume was absolutely fantastic. I'm going to go with that. Favorite animal? Easy. I'll go with cats. When I was younger, I used to love polar bears. I always wanted a pet polar bear, even though I'd probably last 90 seconds if I had a pet polar bear. Next one is favorite TV show. Again, I don't watch really anything anymore. 2 shows I more recently started watching, and this is going back, so I haven't watched them for a while. I did enjoy the Titans TV series. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites, but I did enjoy it when it came out. And the anime My Hero Academia, I watched the first 3 seasons of that and absolutely fantastic. I'm just going to go with them. I don't know what my favorite show of all time is though. I couldn't tell you. Coffee or tea? I do like both, but I'm definitely leaning towards the coffee side. Definitely helps me up in the morning. Vegemite sandwich is good. Vegemite sandwiches are great if you like Vegemite. Vegemite's definitely an acquired taste. In fact, I've never eaten Vegemite on my channel, but I've actually eaten Vegemite plenty on other people's channel, and I might show a little highlight reel of me eating Vegemite on other people's channels.
Oh! You guys are out of control tonight. What is happening? Oh! I've been on shows with
Oh, he's going in more.
I'm gonna spread this on the top of this pie because if I couldn't buy a Vegemite pie, I'm just gonna make my own Vegemite pie. And yeah, sometimes I've eaten too much of it and done silly things with it, but I love Vegemite, so yes, I would say Vegemite sandwiches are good. It's better for toast. Vegemite toast is more what you would use it on. Alright, next one from Shana Rab. Are you proud of how far you've come with your videos? P.S. I'm ridiculously proud of you. Kiss emoji. Thanks, Shana. Are you proud of how far you've come with the videos? Absolutely. I am. To be honest, if you watch my earlier videos, I had no idea what I was doing. I still don't know what I'm talking about, but I had no idea about anything. I didn't know how to edit properly, and I definitely found that I've come a long way. And look, I'm not saying that I'm great at it still. There's still plenty of room for me to get better, but I just know I have improved my videos since, you know, my early days. Like if you watch my earlier stuff, it's a laugh. And especially the way I talk, I swore a lot in my earlier videos. Oh my god, it's Iron Man's fucking hand. But yes, Shana, I'm absolutely proud of how far I've come with my videos, and thank you that you are proud of me, and thank you for the kiss emoji. The producer, my buddy Nicholas from Colombia, he's the one who designed the t-shirt for my 500 subscriber giveaway. He has 2 questions. The first one's a bit of a weird one. Have you ever seen the movie Defender? I cannot remember. I'm pretty sure that's the movie with Woody Harrelson, I think, where he's like I think he's a superhero, but I actually can't remember. I might have seen it, but again, my memory's so bad. I don't remember movies that I've watched either. What do you think about all those Marvel movies and shows coming? Do you think it's too much? I would say no. You know how I keep saying I don't watch movies and stuff? The only things I really do watch is comic book related stuff now. So all the Marvel stuff, you know, coming out from here on forth, I will watch most of the movies anyway. TV shows I don't always have time for, but I don't think it's too much because Marvel, what they're doing is with all the new stuff coming out, it's all their more street level, lesser known characters, and I think that's just the best way they can possibly build up these lesser known characters and make them household names. That's something DC really don't do. They really focus on the Supermans and Batmans and Wonder Womans. You'll never see a Red Hood movie, not in my lifetime, I don't think. But Marvel just definitely do it the right way, and I would say no, I can't get enough of this comic book stuff. ICT Vinny, favorite bands growing up in the 90s? So I won't say my favorite bands, but maybe influential bands. I'll go with Kiss and Queen, first 2 bands I was into. Red Hot Chili Peppers, they were the band that steered me towards the alternative sort of music choices rather than going to mainstream pop music and hip hop and all that. Chili Peppers really steered me in towards the sort of alternative stuff. Moving on from there, I'm gonna say Motley Crue, because my brothers were all hair metal guys and 80s mullet people back in the day, so I always Motley Crue were like, I wanted that lifestyle. I wanted the sex, drugs, and rock and roll lifestyle. So, and then of course I'm gonna go with Sex Pistols because obviously I got into punk rock, and the Sex Pistols were definitely the band that steered me towards the more mohawk, leather jacket style of punk, and also the Casualties, who were the band that I wanted to be when I started a band with my friends. First comic book you remember reading, buying? The first one that I read, which was when I first got back into comics, was the Joker Death of the Family trade paperback, as well as The Killing Joke. As far as my first that I ever read from back when I was a kid, I couldn't tell you. It might have been Death in the Family, because I've still got Death in the Family. I've still got that book from back when I was a kid, and I'm guessing I bought that back in '89 when the Batman movie came out. That's just a wild guess. But I can't tell you what my first one I ever read or bought was, apart from more recent times. Next one, Asian Funk Comics. My God. When you gonna be a guest on Asian Funk's YouTube channel? Mate, it's Mark, right? Mark with a C. Anytime, buddy. I remember the first time I watched Asian Funk's channel, I was just like, oh, this guy's good. Like, his videos are great, he's got a great personality, and it's really cool to have watched a lot of the YouTuber guys go from, you know, I think he was probably on about as many subs as I've got now when I first discovered him, if not less, if maybe a little more. And he's really been great to be able to watch a guy like that blow up. He makes great content, so if you don't know Asian Funk, do check him out. And anytime, mate, because you get so much exposure to your channel compared to mine. If I was on your channel, it would only do me good. So yeah, anytime, brother, hit me up. Next one from OG Space Buns, Aussie slang expert. All right, she's got 4 questions. What is your favorite thing about Australia? I'll just say, as far as my city goes, Melbourne, we've got a great music scene and a great food scene as well. So the food is great, and going out to gigs, we've got a really healthy music scene as well. The next one is, what kind of videos do you like making best? All right, definitely the ones when I go see Mark at the comic shop, because I'm really lucky to have that kind of opportunity. I'm really lucky to have Mark in my life, and that he gave me that opportunity to use his shop. And obviously we become really close friends as well in the process. So I do love going to big city comics, but I would also say my green screen type videos, I would say I love doing those as well. It just involves a lot more work, and I love seeing the end result. And also, of course, my convention videos. I want to go interview cosplayers. I mean, it's a good way to help overcome my social anxiety. I'm not good at talking to people and things like that, and I kind of have to step out of my shoes and out of my comfort zone to be able to approach people and ask them, hey, can I interview you? And I don't have planned questions. I pretty much ask the same questions, but yeah, I just kind of go. So I love those convention videos, and I can't wait to get back to doing that. Her next question is, what's your workout routine? I think that's a bit of a joke, that one. My workout routine is don't work out at all. And just eat food and get fat. But yeah, I need to start working out seriously. I'm letting go of myself. Anyway, and her last one is, what is your YouTube dream? My YouTube dream would be to be as successful as Asian Funk Comics. I would love to just be successful at this. If I can get monetized and things like that, I mean, that would be a dream, right? So for sure is probably, I'd say, let's go with monetization. That will be my YouTube dream. Next, we got from Matilda Gothica. She's got 3 questions for me. The first one's silly. Do you happen to love leg? Come on, Matilda, you know I love me some legs. That leg. Oh my God, that leg. I like that leg. Leg. Next one is, will you do a slang with me too? So I think what she's referring to is Aussie slang, the series I did with OG Space Buns. And I'll let you in on a secret, Matilda. Something I plan on doing, and I don't know how long it's going to take before I get around to doing it, but I spoke to Space Buns about doing a live Aussie slang where I try to turn it into almost like a game show. So I'm gonna invite people from the comic book community to play Aussie slang with me and Space Buns. She would be a contestant, and I'll create the game and be a judge. So that is kind of in the works. So when we do it, Matilda, how about this? You can be on the you can be one of the first contestants on that show when I do it. And her last question is, what is your favorite series so far? I'm assuming she means comic book series. I'm gonna say I've only read 11 issues, but I'm gonna go with Deadly Class on Image Comics. I love that book from what I've read of it so far, and I'm trying to collect the whole run. Next, thank you, Matilda, by the way. Think Geek Theory, Jamie. What is the first Harley comic you read? The first Harley comic I read was actually one of the chapters or issues in that Joker Death of the Family book that I first bought. And what was awesome about it was I had no idea that comics were so dark. So the Harley Quinn issue was just so brutal and violent. Joker was so abusive to her, and I was like, wow, I can't believe comics are this dark. And that was a great introductory for the Harley Quinn character for me. And then I went out and tried to buy some of her solo series stuff. I like the Amanda Connor stuff, and it's just like, it's okay for Harley Quinn to be silly. She can be a silly character, but I feel like some of that stuff is targeted at 13-year-old girls, and I just wasn't feeling it. So I like Harley Quinn a lot, but I like her in those sort of darker type stories. His next question is, what would be your dream job? That's an easy one, mate. It'd be this, right? If I could do this and make enough money to get by every week and not have to work a full-time job, that's my dream job. It's hard to have a full-time job and then try to come home, do videos, do editing, catch up on everyone else's YouTube videos while trying to read comics. I mean, that's why I never have time to read comics these days, because I'm doing all the other things. If this is my income, I mean, reading comics would be part of the job, you know? So yeah, this is definitely the dream job now, because I've never really had a passion for anything, I think, not since my band. And this is definitely a passion of mine, and it doesn't seem like it's dying or going anywhere. Brandon Armstrong is next. Brandon Armstrong, check out his channel. He's got a gaming channel. He's back on the YouTube game, and I'll leave a link to one of his videos actually. He's got a really cool Among Us video where he played I'm in it and a bunch of people from our work. It's hilarious. If you want to see me at my simplest, check out his channel and his Among Us video and his other stuff. All right, his question is, what is the video you are most proud of? What a great question, Brandon. It's definitely going to be The Simple Adventures of Red Hood episode 3. I just wrote that script and I just knew that it was going to be such a fun episode. And to me, it's still probably the favorite thing I've made. It hasn't had a lot of views, but it was just so much fun. And I thought it was funny. I wrote something that was funny. That whole series started with me just making an episode as a joke. That was the first time I created like Red Hood and Ash as like a crossover thing, and it was just a joke. You teach me and I'll teach you. Pokemon. But I had so much fun doing it, I thought I'd turn it into a 5-episode series. And series 3 I thought was so good, and then series 4 I hated. I just thought it's nowhere near as good as episode 3. And that was like a year ago, and I haven't made episode 5 yet, because I get anxiety thinking about it. But I will get around to finishing that series one day. That's another dream of mine, to get that video series complete. But definitely episode 3 was one of my most proud of videos. And also, of course, my most viewed video, which is Becoming Red Hood, the cosplay video. It's had like over 5,000 views, which is not giant, but it's my most viewed video, so I'm very proud of that. And also my Star Wars video I made at my brother's house, which recently just hit 1,000. My second video to hit over 1,000. I'm very proud of that. I thought that video was gonna make me huge, but it took its time to go to 1,000. Anyway, thank you, Brandon, for the question. Now my last 2 people that are asking me questions are my younger audience fan. First one, we got Blake, my 8-year-old buddy. If you don't know Blake, he's the kid who always wins prizes in my giveaway videos. So yes, Blake has 3 questions for me. First one is, what's your favorite comic book cover? I don't know if I could just give you one, Blake, but just to rattle off some of my favorites, I'm gonna go with Love Romances, issue 1, the Russell Dowderman variant. I'm gonna go with Art Germ, Catwoman issue 15, Matina, Heroes in Crisis, Harley Quinn. That's a fantastic cover, and they'll do. I'm sure I have other ones that are up there as my favorites. What's your favorite video game? Now, before J2K said favorite computer game, so I went with PC games. Blake has said video game, so I'm gonna go with console games on this one. And again, you can watch my top 5 video games video. And this is a spoiler alert, my favorite game of all time in that video was GTA 5. I just think, and I don't play it anymore, but I spent so much hours on that when it first came out, when it was on the PS3, I think. Yeah, I love that game. And the fact that it's such an old game and still getting updates and new content it's unheard of. It's absolutely crazy. So I would say GTA 5 is my favorite game of all time. Next one is, why is Red Hood your favorite character? I don't really know the answer to that, but I want to go with, if I had to guess, I would say it's probably his character design that attracted me at first. And the fact that he's Jason Todd, and Death in the Family was the Death of Jason Todd was the book that I read that got me back into comics. Maybe there was a bit of a connection there. But I'd say probably because his character design was so cool looking, it really appealed to me. And he's just the guy who shoots people. You know, he's not like, he doesn't have all these powers and things like that. So I think he's a little bit more human than some other characters. So I'll go with that. Thank you for your questions, Blake. Now, the last one I've got is Quinn, who is another 8-year-old viewer of mine. I think he's 8. And he also has a YouTube channel, Quinn Ventures, which is a great name for a channel. So I'll probably have his little channel thing up here right now. But he's got 3 questions as well. First one is, do you like Pokemon? I do like Pokemon, Quinn, but people probably think I love Pokemon. Now, here's the thing. I know nothing about Pokemon. So when I first started my channel, one of my earlier videos I did was with Siren Divine, where she taught me about Pokemon. We did a little thing where I had to name 20 Pokemon in 90 seconds, and I failed miserably. And ever since then, it just became this ongoing thing on my channel. I think because I did the Red Hood and Ash thing, Pokemon just became a part of my channel. But to be honest, I don't know anything about Pokemon at all. His next question is, if yes, what is your favorite? So a long time ago, I had seen the Pokemon first movie animation when it first came out. Back then, I'd say Squirtle was my favorite Pokemon. And then, it's a long story, but once I got back into Pokemon, which I didn't really get back into, but once I got back into Pokemon, it sort of became Bulbasaur. But now I'm starting to feel Cubone. I think Cubone might be my favorite Pokemon now because I love his backstory with the skull of his mum. It's very depressing, my style. So I'll go with Cubone for my favorite now. And the final question of the night, also from Quinn, is, do you like salad? I like salad, Quinn. Do you like salad? That is a very, very cute question. Quinn, I like salad, and I hope you do too, mate, because salad is good for you, even when it's not. And that is my 40 questions. Thank you guys so much who participated. I really appreciated it. I had a lot of fun doing that. Anyway, this video is probably gone for 4 days. So again, thank you for everyone who participated. Thank you guys for watching. And yeah, until next time, keep it simple.